there for as a record. Cara, have you got your response? Can you upload that? Because I think you put that into an Excel spreadsheet, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Sorry, I don't know if it was just me, but the audio was cutting out a little bit. So the spreadsheet that I sent to you, Scott, the one with the more detail that we had.
Yeah.
I can look for that if you give me a second. I know I resent it to you, but that was 3 weeks ago, right? So.
Yeah. So you can hopefully you guys can see this presentation framework. So this is the actual government document that comes out that talks about the various different lots. As you can see, we're in lot 8 and lot 9 are the ones that we're looking at. I'll just try and get us through this.
Here, I have. Okay, I put the spreadsheet into the chat as well, Scott. If you.
Why don't we go over let's go over the spreadsheet so that we can see what we're missing.
Oops. Sorry. So the spreadsheet is just those 2 pages. So these were basically summaries, weren't they, Cara, if memory serves?
Well, we were trying to match what the application could do, right? Based on the requirements that they had. And so that was specific features that would have addressed that particular need, like the security access. Yeah, do we support it? Yes, we do. And here's how we support it. We have meeting lock security code, one-time access code, moderator controls, that kind of thing. And this was, the perspective was as a user, right? So we didn't really mention, we could, but we didn't mention things like Beacon, where we can actually go pull up call detail records and look at bandwidth and do that type of thing, since the user can't actually do that, although as a company we can. So, you know,
but we could provide that as part of a managed service for them, couldn't we?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think that's the kind of, you know, what we wouldn't like to do is sell ourselves short, really, because things like Beacon are incredibly powerful things. And again, I think what we've also done is we've focused our responses very much around the end user, and really not about it as an enterprise as well. If we start to think about the Crown commercial services as being an enterprise, is that we have to then think about all of the admin control layers that we could give them as well, and make sure that we weave that into our responses so we can portray the strongest picture about ourselves.
How would we phrase that so that they, I mean, I guess your point about a managed service would be appropriate, you know, since it's at a different level than the user level or even the admin level, right? So it's a level up, it's at your level, the reseller level or the company level. So I don't know if, you know, I'm sure you could describe that in some way. So we could add, at least there we could add Beacon.
Yes, but I think that depth of information, when I look at these headlines, effectively, you know, these responses in terms of the additional information, I think there's a lot more that we could provide, even in terms of you know, graphics and visuals explaining and showing how we would do that. I think we try and pad this with as much information as we can, and then it's for the professional service organization to basically understand if that's going to have any value in the formal response that is put together for you know, for Absorb.
So what content do we have that we can provide? You know, that's the question I have.
Yeah, so the content has to be created. It's not like we don't just have it, but I definitely agree with Scott in terms of personal information that this is like, it's very cookie cutter, right? This is what everybody has, but we have some things that nobody else has that we should really explain. So, you, Scott, you mentioned like having it on. We don't have any of that stuff really for this. Like, if what we have is on the Callbirds website, or we've already provided to you. But I think breaking it out more and talking about those additional features that are really like behind the scenes that a lot of people don't experience firsthand is what is going to sell this through.
Yeah, and I think, Dora, you're right. That gives us our greatest opportunity to win this, is to play on our strengths, if you like, that we just know others will not be able to have the same strength of narrative around that. That's what will give us a real opportunity to win here. And again, I've asked Dean to get from the Crown Commercial Services the size of this. So, how many minutes do they currently use today with their existing providers? Try and give us, some form of understanding of the scale of this. But I think under Crown Commercial Services, there are just over 1 million people that work or are linked to their systems and their operations. So it's one of the largest government departments. And obviously they provide exclusivity of services to those 1 million people.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't imagine it's going to be a small number.
Just trying to go through the content that we have on those type of tools. We do have a PowerPoint presentation, but it's more of an instructional piece rather than a piece designed to describe what it does. It's more of a how-to, and how to kind of tie that all in.
Yeah,
you've probably seen it, Scott.
The how-to guides aren't necessarily what we need for these types of bids, I think.
Right.
It's the architecture, what it can do, the purpose of it, how they would, the commercial benefits to the organization that would use it, how to activate or deactivate a service. I think it's probably too granular for what they need, and you can attach them as addendums anyway.
I think like a data sheet is kind of what you're looking for. But like
that's more like it for sure. And I've seen some of this stuff in patches when I was in Canada. So in some of Noam's work that he'd done and some roadmap stuff that he'd shared with me, is that you saw some of this, that sort of was answering that type of question.
So would it be worth it then to, I do think we'll involve somebody on that end of things, on the operations / maybe sort of developer side of things, to provide that, because I don't, from a marketing and customer support perspective, they use it. We don't have the, material that would describe and support it like we need here.
Yeah, so if you just took something like testing and analytical tools, you have a very, very strong story for that. It's just not written down anywhere.
That's right.
And it is, both Richard and I were incredibly impressed by Bacon, and what it can do in terms of, narrowing down, where the fault lies, to be able to get, to very quick triage issues. It's everything that you're constructing there is being done for all the right reasons. And those right reasons are the kind of things that this organization, the Crown Commercial Services Division, will want to understand. is, it is architected like this so you can do real-time fault resolution and real-time triage, which is the thing that they're really looking for. And that we can offer that on a 24/7 managed service basis. It's a simple phone. We can give you the answers, in-depth answers to what will happen. If that government is attacked to denial of service, you've got a great story for that. I know you have, because Gnome shared it with us in terms of what you're doing to make sure you can defend, the platform from any mischief externally. And I think these are the things that need to be drawn out, because they'll be quite powerful in terms of the offer.
So I guess we can talk to Gnome and see what exists right now, what his thoughts are, and describe it to him like you described to us, and see if there is something that fits that bill, or something that's easily configured or rewritten to fulfill that.
Yeah, I think that like there's a lot of so in additional information, these are they're essentially features, and I think you should have the feature title and then the feature description, and then and we have that for a lot of these, but we don't have it for a lot of the behind the scenes, which is where I would say Gnome comes in. I know very little about Bacon, or
I think we just I think I'm not saying that we misrepresent, but I think we take a very generous approach to how we answer these things, and take the most broad description we can. I mean, we sort of have to tick all the boxes in order to advance. So, and I think the main purpose for doing this is to really win Absorb's loyalty more than anything else. What are the odds of us actually winning this one, Scott?
Well, as I think I mentioned to you yesterday, the Crown Commercial Services is one of the few government departments that takes a very broad, should I say fair, it has a very fair reputation, that it almost seeks out new supply. So when you look at its supply chain, and all of this is on documented record, so you can go into any of the tender, this RJ40, the tender document that I've put up there. It tells you who their supply chain is today, who is actually providing those services, and it's not your usual suspects in it being kind of BT taking everything, Cisco taking large chunks of it. It has a reputation of trying to innovate, shall we say, but by increasing or ensuring competition exists within its estate. So when I was saying that, I would think it's kind of 20% chance, 10% chance, assuming that we're in the ballpark pricing wise and all of that kind of stuff. But it's not a million miles out. It isn't. That would be my view. It's in the realms of possibility. Is it probable? Probably not. But nobody would be surprised if a IOTM service there'd be no eyebrows raised because it's been done. But that kind of precedent has been set before. Yeah, and the other thing to remember as well, Lot 8 and Lot 9 are not the biggest lots that they have at all.
Right.
Yeah, these are the really kind of small ends. Most of it is about network WAN. That will be the biggest lot. I think that was Lot 1, and then you've got a voice services lot, which is the aggregated PSTN termination and ingress. That will be a big part of it. This is on the this is on the tail end of this stuff.
Okay.
But sizable anyway, just because you've got so many people on it.
Okay, so how do we proceed on this then? So we've got I mean, like how many questions do we need to answer here?
There's about 30 in all, isn't there? From what I can recall.
And the amount of detail we've got right now is not sufficient.
Not sufficient. No, it's what I would describe as summary.
Right.
Really.
And we need to actually provide like an actual, like, can we cut and paste from like some of the manuals we've got? Maybe that's what we can do. I'm just trying to reduce the workload. That's all. Yeah,
and I would. So my advice would be anything that you've got that is probably more extensive in terms of its depth of content. Just cut and paste.
What about a user guide?
Possibly
user guide.
I mean, we could point to the support sites, right? We have user guides, we have the support sites. All of that can be.
I think, but we have to prepare an actual proposal. So, like what I'm thinking is, can we point Elizabeth at the user guides and the portal and just have her cut and paste? Because Cara and Dora have other. We're up to our eyeballs in work right here.
Yeah, well, I can. I don't mind doing that. But what that is specific answers to features is what's in a user guide.
Yeah, but that is definitely in the support portal, right? Like there's tons of text and copy on the support portal, which you can find just by going to your little information icon on the drawer to the right, the little eye, and then going to support. And then there's like a whole database of specifics. Here, I'll post these.
No, I've got it.
But
I'm extremely familiar with that part of it because we've been building that in Freshdesk.
That stuff. I mean, that's where I'd get it from.
Yeah,
I'm trying to reduce the raw, thoughtless labor and put it off of Cara and Dora.
Oops. I don't know what happened to Jason.
I don't know if you guys can view this. This was a document that I started working on a while ago. Like when we first launched Callbridge. I can hopefully, I don't know why it's not, did it send through? It's just sending. It's very weird. It's just a link. There you go.
There you go.
Can you guys access it, Scott? You might not be able to. Can you just, I'll just have to add you to the document, but I think Cara and Jason, you should be able to access it.
The user guides? Which one?
No, I just sent a link in the chat.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
I started to work on this.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. I see it.
Sorry, I accidentally closed my browser. I'm back now.
I sent the data. Yeah. I sent this is Dora, just so you know. I believe either I attached it to, I did. When I sent the original spreadsheet, I attached it for Scott. But then what I actually did was went in and copied and pasted some of that language into the actual answers. So you'll see a lot of those words already there. So I think if we're looking for more detail, then you have to go to the support sites, the FAQs, the user guides at all levels. There is a reseller user guide that has great descriptions on, I think the one thing at least that we're missing is additional content on Beacon, Bacon, whatever you want to call it.
I think though, like, sorry, I probably didn't explain this. What I'm getting at is like, this is probably like the best type of format is like you have the the feature, and then you have like an explanation. And I know, Scott, you were kind of concerned about that, but like I feel like that is what is missing from the spreadsheet here. And as Cara, if you already provided most of it, then that's great. But I think like a comprehensive, having every single one of them would be beneficial.
Yeah, well, I can certainly dig into it, and I'll go through the support site stuff as well and try and match these into the lot requests. So I'm just looking through lot 9 as well now. Call recording and quality usage analysis tools. So I'm not sure where I've seen any of that before. So I remember looking at how I would make a recording, how I would download a recording, but I don't remember anything there that would be what I would describe as analysis of call recordings.
Transcription?
Analysis.
No, so analysis of it. So to me, in my mind, that's stuff like I have X amount of storage in the cloud. I have, 1/3 of that is there. My average storage per unit is X. That to me is what I would describe as analysis of that particular product set. I know there's lots of areas I could go into that would show me how I would record it, how I would download it, how I would make it available. But I don't recall seeing anything that was giving me anything around insight to analysis.
Yeah, I don't think that we offer that.
I haven't seen that either.
That's why we just say like.
And maybe the answer is we don't. It's but if there is something, I suspect that there will be things that Noam and his team can look at that will give greater insight, that is effectively behind the curtain, but could be part of our bid as part of a managed service.
So I think the best way to go about it is to kind of just like go through each section and like put the features, put the descriptors, and then if there's, for example, the quality usage and analysis tool, if there's something that like you feel like you're missing, then we can then address each one of those.
So I think the practical way to go about this is to fill in all the basics, and then we review it, and we, and Noam can participate in that, and we can add additional text live. So why don't we do this? Why don't we give Elizabeth the links to the support database, fill in as much as possible, and then let's do a page turn and go through it one by one with Noam, and we can just make sure that we've gotten every item in there.
Yeah, well, I have that information, so I'll do that. No bother to.
Okay.
So that's just another bill that I'll get from Elizabeth. I've got no problems in taking the kind of a run at that first, and then I'll populate a template. Essentially, I'll redistribute that amongst us, hopefully with a bit more information than is currently there today. I'll also pose some questions, I guess, preempting anything that Dean might say as well. And then I think then we run it through a wider audience, Noam and yourselves and all those guys, and to see what is maybe readily available to add in that I don't know of.
Scott, do you have the presentation on Bacon? I know it's instructional, but it certainly would be helpful and give you context around saying some of the things you want to say about the diagnostic system and,
Sure,
yeah. I've got something in there for sure, which Noam gave me on a product roadmap side of it. And I'll put in my assumptions, but it'll be up to you to say whether that's too risky to say or actually,
Yeah,
I've got the wrong end of the stick there. It doesn't extract moonbeams from cucumbers. It does something else equally fantastic.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, fine, no problems. I can do that. Okay, so I think we're done. The onus on me is to get back and make that template. Just one thing before you go is I noticed that you've got those editorial tools in your version of CallBridge. So these are all of your, use the pen. These are the full collaboration stuff.
Oh, the whiteboard.
Yeah.
No, it's yeah.
It's new, but it doesn't actually. It doesn't save to the PDF or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. Is it captured in the video stream?
Yeah.
Right.
So if you record the video, then yeah, it'll show up on that, and you can take a picture of anything that you draw and save that, but it doesn't actually access the document.
Right. So this is effectively a kind of a glass pane over whatever is underneath it. Right. Okay. Okay, which is still good if it's a collaborative thing, because you'll see that in the video. Yeah.
Anybody can do it.
And is the intent to do it as an editorial? Ultimately, to be able to edit the document.
Eventually, we'll get there using Etherpad or some similar tool, but not as of yet. So this is for the time being. But yeah, we'll be getting to that, just not right away.
Right. Okay. And when does this go on general release?
Dora, you know about that. When is that coming?
Yeah, we're just doing some bug fixes, so we're not actually sure on actual date. We wanted to get it out this week, but we're not 100% sure. But we will give you a heads up.
Right. Okay. Okay. Cool. No, it looks good. Yeah, looks good, and often has been asked in conversation about how does that work. So the collaborative elements, the interactive collaborative elements of it. So it's good to see it close.
Yep.
Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you guys for your time. I'll try and start on this on Thursday. I'm out seeing customers tomorrow. So hopefully come back to you by the end of the week with my progress update.
Okay, awesome.
Great.
We will be here.
Thank
you, Scott.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.